Hello, gentle souls, and welcome back if you've been here before. This is it's the second take of the first video in a series that I will be doing, which will run in perpetuum, of anonymous personal readings. So I know a lot of people watch like pick a cards. I watch them on occasion, and sometimes you might have doubts about whether or not the pile you've chosen is like for you. So, why not do anonymous readings? Like a Dear Abby. So let's begin. A friend of mine is the guinea pig for the first one. And this is Mercury retrograde started today or yesterday, and boy is it retrograding, because I'm having to repeat things and redo them, but that's okay because clearly the first time wasn't good enough, and I didn't like the first time I did this, so we're doing it again. So my specialty is, what does the universe want you to know? What does the universe want me to convey to you, to tell you? Maybe it's been trying to scream something at you and you've been ignoring it. So that's where I come in, to be like the megaphone for the universe. I do look at individual topics as well, but this is my specialty, open-ended, what does Spirit want you to know kind of stuff. All right, let us begin. What does Spirit want this person to know? Ooh. It's funny because this card came up in the previous reading that I did for this person that I did not post. So that's a good sign, I think. Well, it might not be the best card, but we're getting somewhere. We've got the Ten of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles, the Page of Cups, and the Nine of Wands. It's interesting because these kind of go in order. 9, 10. Page, the only thing that's missing is the Knight, then Queen, then King. Like a progression, but skipping a step. Also, the Nine of Wands, that's like, the energy that I'm getting is trying to overcome something, but failing at it, just being tired and worn out. Like the metaphor of beating your head against a wall and getting nowhere. I also had a chemistry teacher in high school who used that metaphor, but he added on to it that, like, why are you bashing your head against the wall to, get through the wall when, if you just stop and look to like your left or your right, there's a door. You just open the door and walk through, and you'll get to the other side. And it's interesting too because that metaphor applies to the Ten of Swords. Lots of different takes about this card. No one's ever happy to see it, but sometimes this can be a point of exaggeration. It doesn't take 10 swords to, end something. Sometimes you really only need one carefully placed sword. So it's like, why are you trying so hard to do a thing that's hurting you and it's not getting you anywhere? There's also that energy in this card as well, of you're focusing on the wrong thing, or if you just turn around and take a look, there's something right there and you're missing it. Swords underneath there. There's another page under there. Interesting. Another queen and another page, but no knight. Knights are action. You have the inspiration, but you're missing the action to get you to the fruition. What is this pertaining to? Let me pull some of these. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to pull more tarot to figure out what this is about, but I don't want to shuffle this just yet. Let's see what this astrology deck has to say. North Node, something you're supposed to move towards. Cardinal sign, starting something. The 12th house. House 7 and House 3. Okay. These are these? No, they're not triangle houses. Not quite. Almost, not quite. But this lets me know that this is about other people and yourself. 7th house is about relationships, generally romantic relationships. It could be about business partners as well, but people generally see this as romantic relationships. And house 3 is about community, so like that really close circle. So this is definitely about the people in your life. As far as the 12th house, it makes me think about like releasing things and letting them go. The key words on here are spirituality, transcendence, karma, sacrificial service, and healing. But it's in astrology, if you have planets in the 12th house, not only is it an indicator of like past life baggage that you're bringing into this life. I mean, everybody has something, otherwise you wouldn't be reincarnating. But it's like a big, like flashing light. Like bing, 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 bing. You're bringing in stuff from the old thing. It's like you need to just let something go, let it die, so that you can heal and move on. House 10. Career as well. Okay, so when I saw the 7th house, I thought relationships, but this is also pertaining to career as well. Stick that there for now. What else do we have here? And this card popped out as well, also, the Chariot. The Chariot also popped out in the other reading that I originally did. This is very much a card of let Jesus take the wheel. I think a lot of people don't really see it that way, but when you get into like the root, like the core, like true metaphysical meaning of the Chariot, there is, I mean, like this, oh, it does have wheels. I don't know how I missed that. I never thought it had wheels until now. Which goes back again to that metaphor of like how do I do this thing? How do I move this thing? And you're like, oh, snap, there's wheels. And there's also water in the background. It's like if you just like, pull yourself. I was gonna say something that I don't know is appropriate for YouTube, but if you pull your head out of out of the dark space where the sun doesn't shine, use your imagination, you would see that there's like a clear, obvious path for both of these things. And this is saying that it's just following the guidance. There was also something that I heard, an in-depth analysis of this card, which is all of this celestial stuff or symbolism is about divine timing as well. Things cannot move forward as badly as you want them to until the time is right. And the person that I'm doing this reading for is a Taurus moon, so they are extremely familiar with patience. But as we have seen here, there is also something about starting and action. So getting the Chariot, but the Knight is missing. It's like you're putting all your energy in the wrong place. That's what's going on here. Yeah. Okay, let's shuffle some more. Where should the energy be going? What actions should this person be taking? You could also just be ignoring the inner guidance. That's another thing too. That's, yeah, with the Chariot showing up, you're ignoring the inner guidance. What is the guidance that this person needs to pay attention to that they're clearly getting but ignoring? I say this with love. Ooh, this deck. Come on. Oh my god, get yourself together. Oof. Okay, this is I have big hands, and this should not. This normally isn't that difficult. So I think that is symbolic of the energy that you are in. It's just all flying everywhere, and you're having a hard time getting everything under control. You're having a hard time grabbing the reins, and that's okay. But that's why universe is there to help. There's this natural little split here. What's going on here? 9 of Swords. There is some anxiety, some sleepless nights going on. Definitely. Look what's at the top of the deck. The 5 of Cups. The 5 of Cups is also about grief. It's the split. 10 of Pentacles. It's there. It's there. You can get there. Promise. Things will turn in your favor if you take the advice that the universe has. The World. Letting something come to completion. Letting something end. Let it die. Whatever this is. There is the action. There's the Knight. That's what was missing. Okay. Let's see what jumble of hot mess is here. We've got the Star. I have a lot of work when I go to edit this later. We have the Sun. They're both stars. We've got the Fool. The 7 of Swords. This makes me think, don't get in your own way. The King of Wands. There's some progression. So remember, we've seen 2 queens. It's embarrassing, but I don't remember what I was asking when these came out. I think it was, how do we move forward? Or what's the thing that you're missing? There we go. What's the thing you're missing? So we have both the Ace of Wands as well as the King of Wands. That's Those are both two ends of the suit, the beginning of the suit and the end of the suit, indicating the raw element and the mastery of that element. This wand here is the wand and or staff that the king is holding. The Fool is about taking a leap of faith and trusting. We did touch on that earlier. But also, don't get in your own way. Don't trip yourself up. And there is a little sun here. I love when the cards all tie together and do stuff. The moon can talk about fears and illusions, seeing things that aren't there. Don't let your subconscious misguide your passions. People can get very carried away with something that they're passionate about, but if you put all of your time and effort and energy into the wrong thing, it's not going to get you anywhere. Going back to the bashing your head against the wall to try and get through the brick wall when there's a door. And going back to this Page of Cups, one of my favorite things that I heard a tarot reader say is that the fish looks like it's whispering a secret to the boy. And like, hey, you need to know. So I think you're ignoring your intuition, your divine inner knowing. Yeah, you're ignoring it. You're not heeding the call. You're letting fears and illusions get in the way. And your fears are holding you back from taking a leap of faith. You have these dreams and wishes. The Knight of Swords often can come with like a negative connotation because he's very, he rushes into things. He doesn't really think about stuff. He just kind of does it. But I almost feel like you need to do a little bit more of that because you're holding yourself back. Yeah, you're sabotaging yourself. And we have the Six of Wands here. You'll have victory. If you just go for things, but you have to go for the right things. And you're not a fool. You know what it is that you're doing incorrectly, I should say. Yeah. Other thing too, before I move on, I almost forgot. The star reminds me of the Temperance card. Excuse me, that was a confirmation burp. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the star. Oh my god. Sorry. The star. Ooh, and I just noticed we have both the moon, the sun, and the star. We have like all of the celestial cards popping up. So that goes back to divine timing. But I think that's also just a sign that like the divine is trying to send you a message. You're leaving the universe on red. You're not happy about that. Okay, so where was I? Mercury is retrograding hard. I have a really Mercury heavy chart, so if you have a Mercury heavy chart, you understand. Bear with me. Thank you for your patience. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. The star reminds me of the Temperance card. which makes me think of Sagittarius, which again is action. But Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and in Vedic astrology, Jupiter is about wisdom and guidance. Jupiter is known as Guru in Vedic astrology. That's its name. And it's not like a coincidence that, like what we know as a spiritual teacher or a guru has the same name as Jupiter. So move forward, but with using the divine wisdom. Going back to the Vedic astrology thing, the North Node is called Rahu, and Rahu is just the head of the serpent, which is funny because there's like a dragon here. You don't see the body, you just see the head. And this is like a Western, astrology inspired deck. Anyway, all planets and stuff are the same. Take that with a grain of salt. Anyway, I digress. Side note, I'm a rambler. I am neurodivergent. This is just how spirit comes through. Okay, moving on. North Node, Rahu, just ahead. There's illusion, but it's also like this just going in a direction for a thing and not really thinking about it. So it's like, yes, but there can be illusion. But going back to the star reminding me of temperance, you have like the wisdom, you have the higher knowledge, it's there. You just need to trust it and stop letting these illusions and fears get in the way of you pursuing your goal. And also, don't let the illusions and the fears get in the way of you seeing like the obvious answer. And also don't create obstacles and problems for yourself, because we don't know who put those up there. We don't know if it's how'd they get there, why are they there, I am starting to repeat myself with this message, so we are going to move on to the guidance, or I guess the extra guidance, to start to close out. This is my first time using this deck. It was a gift. It's the Mary Magdalene Oracle, so I'm excited to use it for the first time with you guys. It's a fresh box, and there's a rainbow inside. It says love has already won, which is beautiful. Love that. Love. Okay. When I tell you I haven't used this deck before, at the bottom says, it's the rose. I trust divine timing. Everything comes comes from within. Like I said, I know this person that I'm giving the reading for, and they are their ruling planet in their chart is Jupiter. So if only they would just listen to Jupiter's wisdom. Okay. Me shuffle this. I have not used this deck, but the person who gave it to me has used it, so I'm just gonna bend out of these. Okay. Now we'll shuffle. Ooh, the breath. Ooh, ascension. Beloved. I'm analyzing this card and I took a deep breath, so I guess that was a sign to remind me to get some oxygen. Y'all need it. We all love it. Oh, okay. bottom card, I guess that's important too. From within. The true human. I am fully human and fully divine. Get the guidebook. See if there's anything other than what's obvious for your advice. But this definitely ties into the listen to your higher guidance, your higher knowledge. Also, if anyone's seen Pocahontas, where she doesn't know where to go, what her path is, and she has the dream about the spinning arrow, that's another like Sagittarius-y thing that I'm thinking about. Also, the breath, I reclaim my soul. You have cut off your intuition. Either it's too much, and so you're smothering it, or why aren't you using your guidance? It's like someone told you not to. Also, because I'm using the Mary Magdalene deck, there's like I'm getting the feeling that there's like a mother wound. Especially with the Queen of Pentacles here, because we had two queens before a king showed up. And Mary Magdalene, if you are unfamiliar with the lore, I suppose is the right word, she is supposed to have been Jesus's wife and or counterpart. And as the story goes, I'm really dumbing it down and watering it down for time length purposes. But the church, when they were putting together the Bible and what they wanted Christianity to look like, I know this is the Catholic Church that I'm talking about, but Christendom in its entirety, in its early formation, people were putting the Bible together and making up all the stories that they wanted to be the foundation of the religion. They did not like the idea of a woman having power. And so they tarnished her reputation by labeling her as a harlot, as a prostitute. That is what she is referred to as in the Bible, even though she's actually not really directly called a prostitute anywhere in there. Like, I think if you read the original, I don't know if it's the Greek or the Hebrew, Jesus' New Testament, so the Greek, I believe. I'm pretty sure it doesn't actually say that she's a prostitute. The men in power who were stitching together the tangled web of religion, this particular religion, decided to tarnish her reputation because they were afraid of her power. Who told you to be afraid of your power, your inner compass, your divine guidance? You need that, and by cutting that off, you've cut off a part of yourself, like the story of Rahu and Ketu. He was like depending on the story, a snake, a dragon, a demon, whatever. And the head was separated from the body. So Rahu is the head, and Ketu is the body without the head. You are that's the issue. You need to reunite the two halves. You need to put the pieces back together. The breath, I reclaim my soul. Yeah, you need to reclaim your inner power. Like this card here, to be whole. Yes, you are human, but you are divine as well. You are ignoring that divine part of you. The dove up there. Oops, yeah, I have the dove up here. And the lion here with the woman standing here reminds me of the strength card, which, when it boils down to it, for me personally, the card is ultimately about trust. And trusting takes a lot of strength and courage. It's okay to lean on the universe. It's never left. It's never gone away. It's already there, or not already, but like always there. It's been there from the beginning. It's not going anywhere. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. But yeah, okay. How do we tie all that together? That was intense channeling. So for those of you who don't know, who really just watch like my shorts, I am a intuitive reader. So like I don't just read cards. I have downloads. Like I'm psychic too. Clairvoyant, clairsentient. You name the clair, and I probably have it. The only thing I don't do, well, I shouldn't say not at all ever, but I don't really see dead people. I think like maybe like once or twice I've seen a ghost, but anyway. So any guidance or advice on how to bring the two halves back together to make you whole again? Testimony. Love is stronger than death. And that fully human, fully divine thing at the bottom of the deck again. From within. Ascension. I feel like meditating almost. Well, not me, but like the answer to your problems. Meditating. Ooh, so you can remember who you are. Yes, she's meditating. She's going within to remember. Okay, now we're going to get the guidebook for this card in particular, because this one is not obvious to me. I have no idea what number this card is, so wish me luck while I find it in this book. Is it in alphabetical order? I think it's in alphabetical order. Yes, it is. Ooh. To give testimony is to publicly place our lives on the line in order to stand up for what we believe in. The testimony that Mary Magdalene gives to the court of Tiberius Caesar is still celebrated at Easter in the Eastern Orthodox Church with the tradition of exchanging red eggs. Easter is just around the corner, so that's interesting. Talk about divine timing. According to legend, Mary Magdalene traveled to the court of Tiberius Caesar after Christ was crucified in order to give testimony to witnessing his resurrection. Because of her high social standing, she was given an audience before the court. I've always imagined that the testimony she gave of Christ's resurrection was her first sermon. We can only imagine how she described what it was like to see Christ at the empty tomb. What is it like to see two angels standing where his head and feet had been? Weren't we just talking about like a head and like a body? What it was like for the angels to ask her, "Why are you weeping?" And then for her to turn and see a familiar looking gardener who asked her the same question, "Why are you weeping?" And how it was only when the gardener said her name, it was only when she heard her name in his voice she recognized Christ. Love, I have always imagined her saying, is stronger than death. If we can see with the eye of the heart, there is no separation between this world and the next. The love that Christ and Mary embodied in this life endures the loss of the physical body. Mary picked up an egg as she was testifying to Christ's resurrection. I've imagined this is because she wanted to point to us the truth that all life comes from within, and because she saw Christ from within her with the eye of the heart. I've imagined that for her, the egg, as a symbol of the divine feminine, was a good visual to try to help the court grasp that we each contain a soul within us, like a yolk within an egg. Caesar was not persuaded by Mary's testimony, so he allegedly declared to her, "A body can no more resurrect than that egg in your hand turned red." The egg in Mary's hand immediately turned red. Soul voice meditation. What do I testify to be true in this moment? Interesting. Let me sit with this for a moment. I think what this is saying is there is a part of you within you where that mother wound is, that needs love and nurturing. There is something there is some part of you deep down that only you know about. And you keep it locked away, locked up so tight, and you have the hard outer shell, like an egg, around this thing. And I think it's something from your childhood, especially because we had 2 pages in the reading that means youth. Really, really young. It might not even be something that you remember. You might have to think back. But there was something that you were told to ignore or cut out, hide when you were a small child, like, no more than 5. Something about you that was maybe different or special. You were told to put that light under a basket, I'm thinking about a metaphor, but you need to let it shine, especially with all of these celestial lights, the moon, the sun, the star. You need to just shine. There is something, yeah, and what you say is what you manifest. So if you say that something's not possible, that you can't do it, then yeah, that's what will happen. And I think you are aware of that power within yourself. This stone here, this lapis lazuli palm stone, I love this stone. It's so pretty. Blue's one of my favorite colors. But the ancient Egyptians really loved this stone and prized it. It can symbolize truth. And I think for you in this sense, it's your divine inner truth. You need to sit with yourself and go within and recall back, go back to being that young child, 3, 4, 5. And I think I can't pinpoint a particular age because it's probably something that, after many instances of being told to smother out that light within you, whatever that was that made you stand out and be different, it took multiple attempts to put that flame out. But it's like it's been smoldering. It's still lit. You can if you just give it a little air, a little oxygen. I think I said oxygen earlier. Um, that flame will come roaring back. But go back and remember what that is, and I think you'll be surprised when you find out. Healing that thing within you um, is the answer to figuring everything out. That's why you're afraid to trust yourself, I believe. It could even be that like, were psychic and you're freaking people out, like little kids saying they see dead people. So, sorry, I'm rambling and I'm repeating myself, but find out why you have cut yourself off from the divine. Reestablish and reconnect with that bond with source, and then you can begin to trust your inner guidance. Your inner compass will work again, because you will no longer be clouded by the illusion, the shroud that was placed over your divine judgment. It's funny because I've known this person for like 5-ish years, maybe more, and I don't think I've ever given them a reading this deep before. So, whoever's watching, I hope that resonates for you. And if you would like an amazing in-depth reading like this one, I have my email in the description box, so you can say hello, how's it going? So the reading, I would love to be included in the list of anonymous personal readings. And you don't have to give like a name or anything if you're uncomfortable with that, if that's too much of an identifier. You can give me like a noun or something, or like a verb. Um, and, if there's a particular area of your life you'd like me to look into, I can do that. But like I said, my specialty is, what does the universe want you to know? My favorite. That's when I get the best, channeling done. Love that. It's fun. Okay, gentle souls, and person for whom this reading was intended. I hope you all enjoyed this reading. Take care. Love and light.